Well, we don't know very much. The portrait of Sherwood Lett and the portrait of Evelyn Lett, like our two founding couple, those particular pictures were in the council chambers where we see them all the time. But then one time we showed up in the council chambers back in October, and it was like, something's wrong. It's like there's damage to the wall. What's going on? What's happened is Sherwood Lett's picture is missing. Okay, my name is Sheldon Goldfarb. I am the archivist for the Alma Mater Society of the University of British Columbia, Vancouver. The biggest thing I did over the past few years was to write the big AMS history book, The 100-Year Trek, History of Student Life at Ubyssey. Sherwood Lett was the very first president of the Alma Mater Society at the University of British Columbia. He was active in the Literary and Debating Society. He played goal on the hockey team. I think he was in the band. He liked to play the flute. And he and Evelyn Story, another student, and J.E. Mulhern, a third student, in the summer before Ubyssey opened, sat down to draft the Constitution for the first student council at Ubyssey, the Alma Mater Society of Ubyssey. Sherwood and Evelyn later got married so they weren't a couple at the time. They were just Sherwood Lett, Evelyn Story. They were on the first student council. Sherwood went out with her, but he went out with all the women on the student council, saying he went out with Miss Coy, and he went out with Miss Story, and he went out with Miss McMillan. So that's Isabel McMillan, Nora Coy, and Evelyn Story were the three women on student council. I mean, it was the social circle. I joke in the book that this was the earliest example of how the Alma Mater Society was really the Alma Mating Society. And then they went their separate ways. He went off to war. He was president for a very short time. He was elected president, but he had volunteered to go fight in World War I. So he was president from October 1915 until, well, he handed in his resignation January 3rd, 1916, to take effect a week later. I remember reading in this book is that when he was overseas, there were some captured German machine guns that he sent back to the AMS. Now, here's the archives of the AMS, but I can assure you we do not have those machine guns. If one of your readers or listeners knows what happens to the machine guns, let us know. I'm not sure what we do with them. And then he was in the war. He came back. He articled as a legal assistant in a law firm. There was no law school yet. And eventually he became a member of a law firm, Davis & Company, which is basically still the AMS lawyers today. They used to do all this stuff called hazing. We have a picture of one of the first years hooked up to batteries, and an electric current was run through him, and this was welcome to Ubyssey. You may well look amazed, but it's true. But one of the other traditions was the snake parade or snake dance, which is students link arms and go rushing around. And where they would go rushing around was not on campus. They would go down in downtown Vancouver. Hundreds and hundreds of students, I think, would link arms and go stampeding through the streets, trampling whatever was in their way. And one time they trampled on a poor bystander who broke his leg, and he sued the AMS. And the Sherwood Lett connection is he was the lawyer who defended the AMS in the very first AMS lawsuit, the first time the AMS was sued. He defended us, I want to say in court, but actually in the end they settled out of court. So yeah, president, founding member, writer of the Constitution. He had a distinguished legal career and became Chief Justice of British Columbia and the Chancellor of the University, so he maintained his connection to the university. He was on the Senate and the Board of Governors. He had a lot of connections with UBC throughout his whole life.